Have you ever heard of Malunka? Savik, get ready, because her story is one for the ages. Picture this. It's the early 1910s. The Balkan Wars are raging, and Malunka's brother gets drafted into the Serbian army. But he's sick, too frail for combat. What does she do? She cuts her hair, binds her chest, puts on men's clothes, and enlists in his place. She calls herself Milan, and for nearly a year no one suspects a thing. Milan was a model soldier brave, skilled, and quickly promoted. It was only after she was wounded in her 10th combat mission that a field surgeon discovered her secret.
Her commanding officer was stunned.
He didn't want to punish her. She was one of his best soldiers. But a woman in the combat ranks, it was unheard of. He offered her a transfer to the nursing corps. Malunka refused. Point blank.
She stood before him and said she only wanted to fight for her country as a combatant. The officer was stumped.
He told her he'd think it over and give her an answer. The next day, still determined, Malunka stood at attention, waiting. She didn't move. She just stood there, waiting for his decision. It said she waited for over an hour before he finally relented. He caved and sent her back to the infantry. And that's when her legend truly began.
World War I broke out, and Malunka Savik became an absolute force on the battlefield.
She was a master of throwing grenades, a fearless stormtrooper who single-handedly captured dozens of enemy soldiers. In one famous incident during the Battle of the Krinabend, she charged an enemy trench all by herself. Armed with a bayonet and a belt full of grenades, she jumped in and captured 23 Bulgarian soldiers on her own. Her bravery was off the charts.
She was wounded in combat a total of 9 times.
She was decorated by Serbia, France, Britain, and Russia, becoming the most decorated female combatant in the entire history of warfare.
France awarded her the Croix de Guerre and the Legion d'Honneur not once, but twice. The British called her the Serbian Joan of Arc. She was a true hero. A one-woman army who defied all expectations. After the wars, you might think she'd live a life of celebrated ease. But Malunka's story took another turn. She returned to a quiet life, working ordinary jobs, a postal worker, a factory worker, even a cleaning lady. She adopted 3 daughters and supported dozens of other children from her village. Despite her incredible wartime heroism, she was largely forgotten by the government for many years and lived in relative poverty. It wasn't until a public outcry in the 90s, when news of her humble living conditions surfaced, that she was finally given a state pension and a small apartment in Belgrade. She passed away in 1973 and was buried with full military honors. Malunka Savik wasn't just a soldier. She was a symbol of courage, resilience, and unwavering patriotism. A woman who disguised herself to save her brother, then stood her ground to become a legend. What an incredible story of defiance and bravery. Thanks for watching. If you were as inspired by Malunka Savik as I am, hit that like button and subscribe for more stories of forgotten heroes. See you next time.